Hey everyone, welcome back to Bend. I'm going to take you through a 30-minute full body Pilates workout, and to make it a little more challenging and dynamic, we're going to add a resistance band. So go and grab one of those, grab your mat, and let's do it. We're going to start laying down in any comfortable position you like. You can lay like me, or you can find something that suits you better. Then from here, gently closing down your eyes and start taking some nice deep breaths in through your nose and finding a nice long exhale out of your mouth. Relax your face, your jaw, the space between your eyebrows. Let the shoulders be heavy and continue with this feeling of softness all the way down to your toes. Use your exhale to release any tension you might be holding. From here, bend your knees and bring your feet to mat width distance apart, then start to rock your knees side to side. Bring your arms into a cactus position to feel more open through your chest. As you're moving through your legs, you can really let the hips lift off the mat and take a pause over to one side. We're going to move into some bridging, so bring your feet to hip distance apart and then start to lift your hips towards the sky, making sure you're squeezing your glutes to do this. Each time you start a bridge, you begin by pressing your lower spine firmly into the mat and tilt your pelvis back towards your belly button. As you move through your bridges, try to articulate your spine one vertebra at a time. Find balance through your hips by pressing evenly through your feet. You can have your arms resting down by your side, or you can press them into the mat for more support and stability. Hold your next bridge up at the top and make sure you are squeezing the line where your glute meets your hamstrings. Slowly rolling down from here, hug your knees into the chest and just gently rock side to side. From here, you can roll yourself up and come into a 4-point kneeling position and begin working through cat and cows. Making sure your wrists are under your shoulders and your knees are under hips. Inhaling as you drop your belly, lift the chest, lift your eye gaze, and really try to point your tailbone up to the sky. Exhale as you round and flex your spine, dropping the chin to the chest, tucking your tailbone under and pressing the floor away, feeling space between the shoulder blades. You can stay with this, or you can make the movement a little bit more organic and fluid, just wiggling around, moving in any direction, just to make sure you feel nice and mobile and loose through your spine. From here, we'll come into a kneeling plank by walking your hands forward towards the top of the mat, making sure you're tucking your tailbone and actively lifting your center up towards the sky. Then push back into a child's pose, and feel free to add a little pulse up and down through your chest to really expand and open through your upper body. Then continue flowing through these two movements. We're going to finish with a full plank, so come forward, tuck your toes and lift your knees, holding it here. Making sure you're lifting through your core, you're pushing the floor away, and you're keeping a nice long line through the body. Let's grab the band and place it around the arches of your feet to start, Once the band is on, you can lay down, your feet will be hip distance apart, and try to find a little bit of tension through the band. We're going to start our core series nice and simple with some crunches, and this will be how we begin each of our core series, so get comfortable with the crunches. So interlace your hands behind your head, take a nice big breath in to prepare, and on your exhale lift up. Think about pressing your spine into the mat as you lift your chest, draw your belly button back towards your spine, and think about lengthening through the back of the body as you shorten through the front. Focus more on the feeling of squeezing your belly rather than how high you can lift your chest off the mat. Keep your eye gaze down towards your belly. Staying with your crunches, but we're going to start adding on by bringing the legs up to tabletop, so your knee is above the hip and your ankles are in line with your knees. Try and keep your feet flexed here. Make sure you haven't lost any tension in the band, so you're actively pressing your feet outwards. Keep your elbows nice and wide. Next layer is a leg extension. So next time you roll up, pause at the top, extend one leg out, maintaining tension on the band, bring that leg back to tabletop and then lower down. Next time you roll up, switch to the other side. Next time you lift up, stay here and just work through those leg extensions. Take a hug of your knees in and just take a moment to reset, and then slide the band over your thighs. Feet come back to hip distance apart on the mat, and then we're working through some more crunches. Each time you lift your chest, pause at the top, then open your knees by pulling the band apart and keep your feet in the same spot as you do this. Bring the knees back to the starting position and then lower down. As you pull the band apart, you should feel your obliques starting to work. Focus on staying connected to your core, so each time you lift, you initiate the movement using your abdominals and you aren't just pulling your head up with your hands. Bring your legs up to tabletop with flexed feet like we did before, and continue with the chest lift and open of the band. Making sure you're breathing out as you lift up and breathing in to lower. The next layer is a leg extension. So lift up, pause, extend your legs, open the band, bring the legs back to tabletop, and then lower down. If you're finding it difficult to stay connected to your core when you extend your legs, just take them up towards the ceiling. To finish, we're going to extend the legs and just open and close the band. Hug your knees in to reset. For the last section of our core work, lift your feet and bring the big toes to touch. Your knees will be out nice and wide and you're pulling the band apart. So this is creating a diamond shape through your legs. And if you're not all feeling that burn by now, I don't know what else to tell you. Your first layer is a toe tap, so lift your chest, tap the left toes down, then the right, and then lower back to the starting position. Make sure you aren't just dropping your leg to tap the mat, you're hinging at the hip to lower the leg down, rather than just dropping the foot from your knee. We're going to move into some bicycles. So as you lift your chest, bring your elbow across the body towards the opposite knee while you're tapping the other toe down. Do a bicycle to either side and then lower down. Imagine yourself bringing your armpit up and over to meet the opposite hip as you twist. On your next one, we stay lifted and just continue with the bicycles. Making sure your elbows are staying wide, your chest is open, and you're using your abdominals to rotate. We'll finish this with hundreds, so bring your legs back to the starting position, arms down by your side, and start to pulse your hands up and down. Hug your knees in and take a moment to rock side to side. From here, let's roll up onto our right side and we're going to move into some side lying, and of course we'll be adding layers through it, and I'm feeling nice, so I will let you know we are going to do 2 rounds on each side. Come down onto your right elbow and we're going to start working through our clams. So you're lifting that top knee open whilst keeping your heels glued together. Try to keep it controlled and focused on the open as much as the close. You may need to shuffle your feet back slightly, so just make sure you adjust yourself as you need to find tension in your left glute. Your first layer, we'll be lifting our feet off the mat, keeping the heels glued, and just continue opening and closing the band. Then we add a leg extension, and think of this as more of a stretch and a reach rather than a kick. Try to point your toe as you stretch your leg and flex as you bring it in. Lastly, we stay with just those leg extensions. Take a moment here to reset our form, take a big breath in, and let's start from the top. This is where it becomes a mental game, so if you need to close your eyes to find that strength and your focus, do it, and try to deepen your breath. Now, if you're still with me, let's add that first layer. Now let's add that second layer. You are strong, you can do this. Just that top leg now, come on, you can do it. So good, everyone, come down from there. Now before we take it to the other side, we're gonna break things up and do a little bit of upper body. Bring yourself to seated with your hands on the floor behind you, your fingertips are facing your glutes, and you've got your feet hip distance apart. Start with your chest lifted, and then as you lean back, bend your elbows, and then squeeze your triceps to come back up. Make sure you're actively squeezing your elbows in. It's time to add on with a lift of your hips. After you extend your arms, pause, lift your hips up towards the ceiling, lower the hips down, bend the elbows and lean back. Then we combine the movements. So as you bend your elbows, tap your hips down and then lift and squeeze to the top. We finish by staying lifted, keep the hips pressing up to the ceiling, and then just start to do little pulses, little bend and extends through your triceps. Come down from there and take a second to roll out your arms and your shoulders. Then let's move on to the side lying series on the left side. Now let's move into our side lying on the left side. So bring your elbow down onto the mat, bring your knees in line with the hips, glue the feet together and start to lift that right knee open. Again, you may need to shuffle your feet back slightly, so just make sure you adjust yourself as you need to find tension in that right glute. Whatever you like to do with that top hand, you can, either on the floor in front of you, on your hip, or maybe even behind the head. Let's add that first layer, so lift your heels off the mat and just continue opening and closing the band. Then we add that leg extension, and once again, it's more of a stretch and a reach rather than a kick. Try to point your toe as you stretch your leg and flex as you bring it in. Now let's just stay with those leg extensions. As you can tell by my face, I'm also having a really great time. Okay, let's come down from there and take a few nice deep breaths in to reset. All right, let's start again with those clams, and just remember, this is the last time you have to do this. Let's move into that first layer, so lift your feet and continue with that clam. Alrighty, let's add that leg extension. Last time we have to do this. Try to keep that control, that focus. Close your eyes, go where you need to go. Now just staying with that leg extension. Beautiful, let's come down from there, and unfortunately we are not quite finished with those glutes, so we're going to finish with some bridging. Lay down on your back and bring your heels together and have the toes apart. Then when you're ready, start to lift your hips up towards the sky. So once again, we're going to add some layers into this series, and the thing I want you to focus the most on is keeping your heels connected throughout. The first layer is a lift of the heels at the top of your bridge. Remember, if you need a little bit more support and stability, you can press your arms into the mat. From here, we keep the heels elevated and we turn that bridge into more of a pelvic press. So we tap the hips, we lift the hips rather than articulating the spine. For the next layer, we're going to add a close and open of the band at the top of the bridge. Check in with those heels, make sure they're still elevated and connected. On your next one, stay lifted and just continue to open and close the band. Hold the band open and then start to pulse your hips up and up. Last little push here, we're going to keep those knees open and just hold. Really squeeze your glutes. This is the last time you have to do this. Just breathe. You can do it. Come down from there, hug those knees in and just have a little rock side to side. Okay, let's make our way up from there. You can take the band off your thighs and you're going to place it around your forearms because we're going to finish off with some upper body. Coming into a low or a high kneel, we're going to start with some bicep curls. Make sure your palms are facing each other, you're pulling tension on the band and you've got all 10 fingers spread. Your core is still engaged and the rest of the body is still. Try to keep your spine nice and long here, so as you're working through your arms, you're reaching to the sky through the crown of the head. On your next one, pause with your elbows in line with your wrists and add an open and close of the band. Feel free to pull some ugly faces like I am, trust me, it helps. Now just stay with that open and close of the band. We're going to repeat another set of bicep curls, but now our palms face the sky. Add the open and close of the band. Now we just open and close the band. Take a reset and we're going to move on to our shoulder press, again with the palms facing in. One bicep curl into the shoulder press. Pause with your arms above the head and, you guessed it, open the band. Hopefully you can feel your lats working here too. Even though you're lifting your arms up, really try to keep the shoulders down and try to draw your shoulder blades towards each other. Make sure you're still breathing. Tap into that mental strength, that focus, and remember you can always close your eyes if you need to. You've got this, you are so strong. You might be able to guess how we're going to end this. Keep your arms up and just pull that band apart. Shoulders stay down, pull the band open and just hold. We're going to finish in little pulsing shoulder presses, so bring your arms to 90 degrees and tiny little pulses up and down. Last push here, that band comes off and roll into a full plank, hold, lift your abs, tuck your tailbone and push the floor away, spread all 10 fingers. Then we go into slow mountain climbers. Come back into the plank and hold it here. This is the last time you have to do this. Last set of mountain climbers, let's go. You can do it, you are so close to the end. Don't stop now, keep pushing. Come down from there and push yourself back into a well-deserved child's pose. Come back into your breath and try to make your inhales and exhales nice and long and slow to bring your heart rate down. Walk your hands over to the right and really try to drop the left shoulder down into the mat. Come over to the other side, walking your hands to the left and now dropping the right shoulder into the mat. Come through center onto all fours, lifting the left arm to the sky and then threading that arm through. Feel free to wrap the right arm or keep it on the floor. Push up out of that, then reach the left hand to the sky one last time, try to open the chest, and then let's take it to the right side. Reach that right arm up and then thread it through. Again, wrapping the arm if you like, or keeping it on the floor. Push yourself up out of that and reach that right arm up to the sky one more time. Laying down on the floor and bring your right foot over the left knee. Feel free to scoop the arms through and hold onto your left shin for a deeper stretch. Release that, then let's take it over to the other side. Left foot on the right knee. Releasing that stretch, rock yourself up and then come to a seat with your legs extended. Inhale to reach your arms up and then fold forward. You can keep a soft bend in the knee here and try to keep your feet flexed. Come and sit with your legs crossed, then take an inhale breath to reach your arms up, and then as you exhale, twist to your left. Inhale through center, then take it over to the right. Come back through center and we'll finish with some nice shoulder rolls back for 3, 2, 1, and forward for 3, 2, and 1. Well done everyone, you are all finished. Don't forget to subscribe to my channel, like the video, and I will see you guys in the next one. Bye!